is a saying in Sanskrit which says, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole globe is a village. Today, people with skills are haunted for the various positions in educational institutions, in industries, in medical field, in technical field, all over the globe. Globe is such a place where the distance between one country and the other country has drastically reduced. With this, every person is almost becoming a neighbor to another. With this kind of a change that is taking place, education is one which influences such changes, whether in the field of engineering, medicine, psychology, philosophy, sociology, economics, or any domain of knowledge. Now, in order to do this, there is a strong need for the teachers who will be able to transmit this knowledge to the young generation. Now, when I speak of the young generation, I do not mean the adolescents or the adults only. The generation of students starting from womb to tomb. We need to give education for the children who are very small, tiny tots. We need to give education for those who are in the pre-adolescent hood. We need to give education for the people who are in the adolescence and the people who are adults too. Now, what is the role of a teacher and what actually the globe wants? Globally, today, we need such teachers who have a technical know-how of how to teach. Now, how to teach basically depends upon the cognitive domain, the psychomotor domain, and the affective domain. And we need the people who feel that teaching is my own. I need to teach because my students need to learn. If that is the attitude of the teachers, the globe wants such teachers. A teacher influences eternity. Nobody really knows where actually the influence stops. But everyone knows where actually the influence begins. A good teacher with a good heart, when I speak of a heart, I don't speak of the physiological condition of the heart, it is the psychological and the spiritual aspects of the heart. A teacher with a good heart can always influence the students. For what are the characteristics of a good teacher? A good teacher is one who has a very sound base of the knowledge. We call it as the content knowledge. Any subject that you teach, you must have a mastery of the content. Second important aspect is, having the content knowledge is not sufficient. You must be able to deliver this in the class. In order to deliver the goods of this knowledge, a teacher must have a very good communication ability. Now, where do we get this communication ability? The communication ability comes to the teacher by being a teacher. Therefore, there is what is called an in-service and a pre-service training component. The students who have not gone into the teaching profession yet, they get the training through pre-service. The teachers who are already teachers who would like to have better skills get it through what is called the in-service teaching. Now, when I say you have to communicate, a teacher must be good in verbal and the non-verbal communication. What is verbal? Verbal is through the use of the language, which is either spoken or the written, or maybe in terms of the computer knowledge, you must be able to influence the students. The non-verbal communication component relates to the use of the body language, the kind of the gestures that you use, the kind of the movements that you do, and the kind of the change in the speech patterns that you do. Therefore, as a teacher, you must be a very good communicator. Having this content knowledge and communication, if you are not a good guide to the students, then your influence is half done. Therefore, be a better guide to the students. What kind of a guidance is required for the students? They require the guidance for their studies. They require the guidance for their dealing with the emotions. They require the guidance and counseling in the field of the vocations into which they want to go. A teacher must also be able to assess and evaluate the performance of the students. Therefore, hence, a teacher needs to become a very good evaluator. Now, when I say you are an evaluator, you need to know what is the kind of questions to be asked for the students, either during the process of teaching or at the end of teaching. Therefore, a teacher must be a prognostic evaluator, an evaluator in the formative stage, an evaluator in the summative stage. Then, when we say a teacher must be good, a teacher must also be good in using all kinds of domains in terms of the educational technology, the software and the hardware. A teacher who uses only the blackboard skill today is destined to be a bad teacher. If a teacher can use the smart board, a teacher who uses the e-learning, a teacher who uses the digitized library, a teacher who will be able to use virtual learning, virtual teaching, considered as one of the best teachers. Therefore, teacher must be abreast with information and communication technology. More than all these things, the most fundamental aspect that a teacher should possess before he teaches is the love for the students and love for the subject and love for the humanity as a whole. Unless you love the students and love yourself, it is probably not possible to think of a good teacher. There are certain commandments to become a good teacher. Let me present the commandments to you. The commandment 1, it says that I can make a difference in the life of the students. I am not better than my own students. It is the teacher, not the program or the resource or anything that is the key for the success of the student. Every teacher should know the students as individuals, as they have a lot of potentials in them, they have multiple intelligence. The need of the students in the class must be given the top priority because we need very quality time with them. And I must know all the students and I must work with the students. What is working with the students? The students come with different abilities. Some are slow learners, some are fast learners, some are average learners. For know how to work with the gifted and the non-gifted, talented and the non-talented students. I do not want to use the word non-talented because there is no student who has no talent at all. Every student has some talent or the other. It is to the teacher to tap that particular talent. I must make my classes, that is the teacher must make the classes very varied and interesting. He should not make the classes to become bored. For a boring class is a class where the students go for a sleep. I must have a sense of humor because humor is very, very important in the class. Unless we teach the lesson with humor, the students will not be able to understand the lessons well. And there is no one single method which satisfies all of them. Therefore, a teacher must have a multifaceted personality and varied ways in which the lessons are to be taught. And finally, a teacher must have the conviction that I have no answers to all questions. What do I mean by it? It means the teacher needs to learn from students.